think we're back. I'll just give you a second to all catch up. Sorry about that. Everything crashed. Everything crashed. Hopefully. Okay, so it's just a case of waiting for the 50 odd people who were here just now to all refresh. Sorry about that, guys. Ugh. Everything crashed. I don't know what happened, but something about my encoding going over 4 frames a second, but there's nowhere to change it, so I don't know. Told you, we're working with 2008 technology right now. Let's get this show on the road. So, if you haven't seen part 1, go and watch part 1 if you're watching this replay. I'm going to set up my on-the-go bullet journal. Super simple. I mean, it's not going to be anything you haven't seen before, but, you know, people like to watch this kind of stuff. I know I like to watch this kind of stuff, so... So what have we got on this one? Have a nice day. Do not touch. Oh, I like that. Do not touch. Hanging message system. Cut along the line and fold in the middle to obtain a hanging message. Oh, I see, like that. I get it. I get it. So you cut out that, and you've got have a nice day on one side, you've got do not touch on the other. That's kind of fun, I like that. That, of course, will probably end up on my other bullet journal, but never mind. I also have a weird thing about these stickers that you get in the back of the moleskin. The quality control stickers. I don't know, I just like them. Where's my quality control sticker? There better be one. Oh, there it is. I could do without that every time, but ooh, that's pretty. That's kind of cool. See, I like these. Let's put that. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not in 2 pieces anymore. It used to be in 2 pieces. Because I always do. Sorry, guys. I had to restart. Yeah. I don't know what it is about setups, but they just are really fun, aren't they? Oh, they're not cut out either. It's like a big square sticker now. Oh, I don't like this. It's got a white thing around it. Well, that's not going to look right, is it? That's got to come off. Can't have a white sticker on a cream background. Sorry. But no. I was talking moleskins the other day with somebody online, and there's still a thing going round where moleskins used to be awesome. They used to be amazing quality. They were worth the money. And then the production went from Italy to China. And you know what happened to the production? The paper quality was completely horrendous. Even I stopped using them for a while, and I am a moleskin. I'm all things moleskin. I am all about the moleskins. I'm a nerd when it comes to my stickers. I'm sorry, I've got to put my stickers in. The quality control reference numbers, by the way, and this still happens. See, they normally cut out. Where's my... I've got one here earlier. I had one here earlier that was from my other one that was cut out. When they went to China, the paper quality was abysmal. The binding started to fall apart, and even I lost faith in them. That's when I moved to the cahiers, because I thought at least the cahiers I was only going to be in it a month. It couldn't possibly fall apart that badly. But the paper was still rubbish, and I stopped using them for a while. They have since the rebranding, I'm sure you've noticed that they've changed a lot of the, you know, they've all got different style of thing now, since they went to from the sketchbooks to the Moleskine art and stuff like that. The quality has come back, I'm happy to say. The paper is back to the way it used to be. I am happily watercolouring and using fountain pen and all sorts in my Moleskine. Now, I see so many people online who obviously don't understand how paper and ink works. And it's no fault of their own. You know, if you're not an artist or a fountain pen aficionado, you're not going to know, are you, until somebody tells you. So, here's the thing. You cannot look at any paper at all, and say, does this work with a fountain pen? Do gel pens dry fast on this? Because it's not down to just the paper. It's down to the ink, the pen, and to a certain extent, how you write. All right? If you are a ballpoint pen user like me, if you use a Bic biro, and you are one of these people that presses so hard on the paper that your paper starts to curl, you are pressing more ink into the paper, therefore the ink won't dry as fast as somebody like me who barely touches the paper at all. Okay? If you are using a big, thick, chunky, heavy bleed fountain pen, the ink is more likely to go through the paper, any paper, no matter how good it is. If you are using a very fine tip pen, but you're using an ink that bleeds, even a fine tip pen will bleed through even the best quality paper. If you have an ink that is non-bleed ink, you could paint it on with a brush and it still won't bleed through. So you can't just say, does X work on this paper? What you have to do is find out for yourself. Now, contrary to popular belief, Moleskines are no longer luxury items. I mean, they are expensive. They are more expensive than your basic notebook. But they're in a reasonable price range these days. If you don't know whether the paper is going to suit what you want, just buy something super cheap off Amazon. You can buy them on eBay, you can buy them on Amazon. You just buy a basic Moleskine, a small, outdated diaries. I've bought 2013 diaries before just to test with pens or products or whatever, because I didn't want to use my main book. You know, you can always pick up something super cheap. I picked this one up for £3 on eBay. Somebody had been given it and didn't want it. It just said unwanted gift. The unwanted gift category in eBay is amazing. There's always somebody who doesn't want what they've been given. So this was an unwanted gift, £3. I've got a brand new pocket Moleskine, nothing wrong with it. You know, £3 is not going to kill anybody. But it gives you plenty of paper to play with, to see, you know, what's going to work, what isn't going to work, what am I happy with, what, you know, you can test your fountain pen with all your inks, or your fountain pens with lots of different, with the only ink you use, or whatever, and it'll be fine. I don't have it handy, it's over there somewhere. I use the sketch ink from R&G. It is a waterproof, permanent ink for fountain pens, similar to carbon ink, but it doesn't have carbon in it, so it doesn't dry up in your pen. And I use that almost exclusively, and I use it with all sorts of fountain pens. And I've only got one fountain pen that if I put it in there, it is too heavy and juicy for the Moleskine. But that particular fountain pen I don't write with anyway, because you can't read what I've written because I've got tiny writing, and this nib is like, it's like trying to ice a cake or cut a cake with a shovel, you know. That's the level of finesse. Anyway, something else I always do, because I've seen people say, these pockets are really hard to get into. And I agree with you, they are quite hard to get into. So this is what I do. I grab one of these and I go, okay, I reckon about there. There we go. Now it's not hard to get into, see? Super simple. I hate bookmarks, so that comes out straight away. It goes in my fibre stash because I like the colour. I like this kind of lavendery colour, but I don't use bookmarks, so I use this for other stuff. I'm going to put this, I think, I want this to I want to make sure that this is really secure. So what I'm going to do is loosen this a little bit and put that in there on the smaller one. And I will probably cut a little bit of a divot in there so that it holds properly. And then I can put this one at the front and, oops, longer one at the back. I normally put a bit of clear tape, like sellotape or book plastic along here, just because over time this corner will wear through. And as you fill up your notebook, it will put more and more pressure on that corner, and over time it will pull cover off, which will compromise the binding. So I always put a bit of book plastic down through there, or you can just put a bit of like duct tape on the back of your moleskin or whatever, that works too. So that's that done. I've already got a pen loop. Another reason for loving my 4-colour Bics is that they don't have grips on. The new one has a grip on it. The 3+1, I wish the 3+1 came in the standard format. This has a grip on it and it's much thicker, so it doesn't actually fit in my pen loops, which is really annoying. Because I had a pen loop on here, but I've just been like doing that. And another good reason for having a traveller's notebook is you can just do that and it stays. I'm not usually that ham-fisted with it. So I think this will work. This is actually a little bit, maybe that needs to go behind there. Let me see if that works better if I put it outside the notebook, like that. That feels better, that works better. Okay, yeah, that works a lot better, even though it's bending, because it's got quite a thick spine, it should be fine. And they don't slide in that way, they slide in top down. So, let's put some cards in. Yeah, a lot of people, if you don't know about paper and ink and how it works, which, let's face it, unless you're an artist, you probably don't, then you wouldn't have any reason to assume that there would be a difference between pens on the same paper. You would assume it's the paper. It's just natural. So those will go in there. And I'll probably put my credit cards in the back there. I was going to talk about this. This is, Vicky has, is Vicky still here? She has one of those printer things. This is what I was talking about those printers. See the ink? This has been inside this in an airtight container in the dark ever since I put it in there in 29/06/17, and look how much it's faded. The weather can affect your paper and how it works too, yes. Used to use moleskins, then you switched to Leuchtturm. Yeah, I don't like the Leuchtturms, I don't like the paper. I really do not like the paper of the Leuchtturms. I don't know why, I just cannot get on with it at all. I prefer the moleskin. It might just be that that's what I'm used to. That I need to put in my thing. I've got my sigil. This was a sigil spell I did for solvency. You know, to always have enough money to cover what you need to do, basically. I don't need to be rich, I just want to be able to, you know, if the car breaks down, I want to be able to pay for it. If the dog's sick, I want to be able to pay for it. So that's what I did. I did a money sigil and I keep that in my wallet, so I will put that back in there. That's over on my Patreon, if anybody's interested. I do have coins, but I don't normally carry cash. So I don't carry cash ever. The only time I have cash is if I need it for a parking meter that doesn't take cards, and most of ours do now. I hardly ever have cash. If I do somehow manage to have a few bits and pieces, I put them in the ashtray of the car, but I don't have the car with me at the moment because it's at it's at the garage getting its MOT, probably failing its MOT. So that's all I can take out of there for now, because that needs to go in my thing as well. That's a work bus ticket from the other day. Put that in there as well. So that's all stuff that I need to put into my... I've got a finance Filofax. I keep my finance stuff separate these days because it just is easier. I need to put my Maddie on the front of my thing. Get her off of here. And I need my card as well. There we go. Put that there so I remember to put my credit cards in there, otherwise we're going to be in trouble when we go shopping. Okay, so motor something or other test, motor organisation test, motor, I don't know. It's something. It's a car annual car test to make sure that it's drivable. You have to have an MOT, insurance, and a driver's license. So I don't know if you have a. It's not like a service. It's a MOT. You can not have a car serviced, but you have to have it MOT'd. It's got to have certain safety. It's a safety test basically for. It makes sure that your tyres are okay, your brakes are okay, your belts are okay, all your screen wash and everything works, it's not blocked or anything like that, your tyres work, not down, your seat belts are checked, all that kind of stuff. And they check the structure of the car, which is not normally checked on a... Oh, like a car inspection, there you go. So you have car inspections. But is a car inspection like a service, or is a service separate? It must be separate, mustn't it? Because you have service lights. Okie dokie. Let's pop this on here like that. This is my store card for the shop. That's where I do my groceries. So I always have that one with me. I don't always have the others because if I get petrol or whatever, I can just save my receipts and take it in and get them to add it later. But I always have my grocery one with me. It's separate, right? It's the same here. You have a standardised motor certificate that allows you to get insurance. Your service is more like your oil change and checking your screen wipes and stuff. Roadworthies, yes. They are exactly like South African roadworthies. Ministry of Transport test. Thank you, Lisa. Ministry of Transport. Although I don't think... Does the Ministry of Transport still exist? I thought it was part of the Department of the Environment now. I don't know. Oh, I've done that too tight. That's what you get for talking and trying to tie knots. You know, you can't... Just some people can't walk and chew gum at the same time, okay? You're a National Transport Manager. Oh, cool. So we can blame you, can we? I ran into a bit of an issue with mine because although my car hasn't actually had its MOT yet, it's going to... My MOT was due on the 12th, but my mechanic is away. But I dropped it off last week so he could try and get it in last week before he went, but they didn't have any spaces. So I've got to wait an extra week now until he comes back. So I can't even get it done until... What magnet? I don't, Vicky. That's the point. I don't have a magnet on my phone. This is the case. It's a all-in-one thing. But I bought this. It's a Hynys, HYNICE phone case on. I can't remember if it was Amazon or eBay. It'll be one of the two. That's the only places I buy anything. And it, you know, it's got all the things in it. So you could potentially pick up one of these. Even if you don't need the purse, it's worth it for the iPhone case. It comes in all sorts of sizes and everything. Oh, see, I put things in the back of my phone when I need to remember to take them with me, and then I forget that they're there. I do quite regularly take this case off to clean it though, so. But yeah, I'm thinking if I just put something in the front of my... potentially, I might even be able to take out whatever is in here. Yeah, it all came... This is how it was made. This is how it was made. This has a... I think this has a magnet as well, I'm not sure. When I put it near my computer, it went a bit bizarre. Oh yeah, this has a magnet too. So this is a magnet, and this is a magnet, and you just... Literally just... And it's really secure. You've got to be really going some to get it to fall off. So it doesn't just slide out or anything like that. But if the worst came to the worst, I could potentially just cut this off and stick it inside my book. I mean, I'm not going to, because I really like this wallet, and I would probably go back to it at some point when I decide that I don't want to carry a book around with me, because as I am wont to do. But yeah, this has a magnet on it as well, so... They're not very strong magnets, so they don't affect your cards or anything, because a certain level of magnet will wipe the thing off your card, off your credit cards. The strip on the back of your credit cards is magnetic. So you have to have a certain... you can only have a certain strength of magnet, otherwise when you did that all your credit cards would wipe. But the two together are really strong. What I could potentially do is pick up, because this is getting a bit grubby, actually, and a bit battered, I could pick up another one, because I've got two of these phones. So I could just pick up another one and cut the front off this and use it in here, and then you have a new one. I might do that, actually, because this was not very expensive. It was only about a £5. So, yeah, this is actually magnetised, and so is this. It's really handy. Oops. Anyway. So, I'm going to put something on the inside of the case here that will allow me to put my phone on there, and then I've got it all together. For now, I'll just put my phone in there. I mean, it's pretty snug. Once I put I'm going to put some more heavy duty elastic on here. I need some thicker elastic. Once I've got that on there, yeah. I think Vicky is multitasking. Yes, Vicky, just go on eBay or Amazon. I can't remember which one I got mine on, but it was one of the two. And it's a wallet. It's a wallet with a magnetic phone case. And mine's an iPhone 5S, so they've got them in much more up-to-date ones than that. What's this? Oh, that's one I need to put in the front of my book. So this is now... Hi, baby. Door's open. You can go for a wee if you want to. Door's open. Hi. Hi. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. Oh. Yeah, like I say, it's worth buying the whole wallet because the wallet is really nice as well. And there might be times when you want to take your wallet and your phone, but not your book. So, but I thought I would put something on here. I've got some magnets actually. I've got some of those like dry wipe ones that you put on a fridge. And they're magnets on one side and they're dry wipe on the other. If I stick the dry wipe onto here with some double-sided tape, I've got some Gorilla Tape which sticks anything to anything. It's amazing stuff. And then I can stick my phone on there, and then I've got everything together. This is going to have to get moved to the back. This is driving me nuts being on the front. I'm not used to it being on the front. Although I do kind of like that when you do that, you can see thanks, Lisa. Hanky's saying hi back. Oh, hi, Hanky. Hello, old man. How you doing? We love Hanky. Maddie was shouting too. That's probably why he was... Actually, this pen loop is broken, so I'll probably have to fix that. I do like the fact that because my phone isn't as wide, my pen kind of hits inside. If I can rejig that a little bit so that my pen goes inside rather than outside, that would be better. And then it'll be like that. And obviously I'll knot this up so that it doesn't keep floating about. And that's my Maddie. So yeah, that's going to be my new little on-the-go notebook. I'm not going to call it a bullet journal, but I will use bullet journal style in it. I will put numbers on the pages and everything, and I will cross-reference it to here. If there's anything I need to take out of here and put in here, I will probably, because I'm incredibly lazy, just make sure that I leave a decent margin and then just use my ruler to do that and tear the page out and put it in there, because that's just what I do. Unless it's unreadable, in which case I'll copy it across, but I think it's more likely that I'll just tear the page out and stick it in. So that's, I guess that would be an everyday carry, because I can now take this anywhere, even if I'm only popping up the shop. This is also small enough to fit in my doggy pouch. I've got a doggy pouch that I've put all my poop bags and treats and all that kind of stuff, and it's got a back pocket. That's big enough to put this in. Now, if you didn't want anything this chunky, I know some people wouldn't want anything this chunky. I honestly can't remember. It might... This is either one that Ray Blake made me, or it's a Chic Sparrow. I don't think it's a Chic Sparrow because it's not edged. And I'm sure hers are normally edged, and she doesn't have a stamp in it or anything. But the only time I ever had Chic Sparrow stuff was from, like, when she first started. So that's years ago. I think this might be the one that Ray Blake made me. Which is grubby and patinaed and awesome, and I like it. Yeah, if you were not loving how chunky this is, there is another option. Or if you don't have a leather notebook, or you're not into leather, you know, some people are, what's it called, vegan? Yeah, vegan. This is, did you cut one down? No. I only ever have two sizes. This is a Field Notes, and this is a A5 takes 5 cahiers, which happens to fit the Moleskine Expanded, which I'm so happy about. I don't have that many covers, and I haven't bought a cover since I got this one because I love this one so much. I don't buy one and I'm like, ooh, it's so beautiful, and then I never use it again. I use all the ones that I've got. I've got the 2 matching ones from Janelle, I've got a plain one like this in this dark brown and this caramel one from Ray. I've got my regular Midori, which I had right from the beginning, and then I've got this one, but I usually use this one. This one I've been using since I got it. I do have a Chic Sparrow Creme Brulee, which she sent me way back when before she even started selling, I think, properly. She sent me one as like a prototype. I don't use it, I don't like it, the leather's too thick, but I do have my sticker sheets set up in it. I set up all my sticker sheets, turned them into a traveller's notebook and just shoved that in there. All of my covers are TN type covers. This one has 4 elastics because it was made to fit 5 Moleskine cahiers. This one has 2 elastics that are all in the same holes. So that's the regular one, and he put 2 elastics in it for me. So I use that front and back. But you could, if you're using the passport size of this, you could put this into the pocket in the back. In fact, even if you weren't, you could do that. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. I like that, because I could then do that, and then I've got everything to... Oh! Game changer. Yeah, it needs a pen. It needs the pen loop on there, but I've got another pen loop somewhere. I've got a pen loop that I don't stick onto everything. Here's a tip for your pen loops if you go through these books as fast as I do, okay? Get a pen loop, but don't take the sticky off the back. In the pocket here, just take a craft knife and put a slit along the pocket of about 1/2 inch, sometimes a little bit bigger. Push the pen loop up through so the elastic comes out through the hole, and then you've got your pen loop stuck to your paper where it won't come out, but it's not stuck in your book, so it's reusable. Ba ba da ba ba. This one has, yeah, this one has the thing in the middle, and this one has it on the spine. I have no particular preference. Because I open and close mine left-handed, it makes no difference to me. Because it's here, or it's here. It makes absolutely no difference to me whether it's... but if you're a righty, it's really annoying to have it over here. But look at that, I can do that. And I can put my phone in there. Could even potentially put a little bit of magnet on the inside. Because this is a soft cover, I could potentially put a bit of magnet on here so that my phone would stick to it like that. So it's a bit more secure. Although the Moleskine elastics are quite tight anyway. Put a pen loop in there so I can put my pen there. And that would work. That would work too if you don't have a cover. Or if you don't want a cover. Yeah, I go through notebooks fast. Even with my tiny writing, I go through notebooks fast. In fact, I like that better than having the big chunky thing. Interesting. I shall have to rethink that now. Bugger. I might have to put a smaller pen. Maybe if I had a, I've got some little pens. that are quite a lot smaller. They're like this sort of height. They're cheap knockoff versions of the Midori ballpoints. But I've also got my my Jotter. I've got my Parker Jotter as well. That's a lot. No, that's not it. My Parker Jotter is a lot smaller than a regular ballpoint pen. So I could potentially put that on there as well. I've got pens that are smaller than this anyway. Or, here's another idea. These have holes in the top for a reason, okay? You could put a bit of thin, like either elastic or a bit of cord, like bookmark cord or whatever, or even a bit of leather thong, and affix it to the elastic and to the pen, and then your pen is attached to your notebook. I think a Parker pen will work better though, because Parker pen's the same size as this notebook, and it's a lot thinner. Parker Jotter. I love my Parker Jotters. I love my Parker Jotters almost as much as I love my Bic ballpoints. I think that's a nice little thing to carry, to be honest. I might put a thicker piece of elastic on here, because that, although the elastic is good, it's not very secure for this way of doing it. So I might sew like a 1/2 inch thing of elastic onto this and this, so that I can put it across here like this, and it's just a little bit more secure, because I don't want my phone sliding out like that. But also, I guess if I put a magnet on it, then I would be able to have my phone there and it would be secure anyway. So, yeah, lots of options. But I need something that's just small and compact that I can hold in my hand and know where it is. That's my plan. So now I've got to figure out what to do with these. So I've got to have my Maddie. I've got my Gypsy on here. I still haven't sent you yours, Vicky. I've got this. I've got one of these. When I bought this, I bought one for you as well. It's a Diamante German Shepherd that I bought when I had Gypsy. Oops. And I bought you one because of Hanky. And I still haven't sent it to you. And the reason I didn't send it to you was because I was about to send it to you and you moved. And that's how long it's taken me to say, Vicky, I need your new address. That's an old address from like 5 years ago. Email me your address, or Instagram me your address, or whatever. And I'll send you your hanky, because you're supposed to have had this ages ago. Oops. Put that the wrong way round now. So, there we go. That's my upgrade, or downgrade, if you like, from... Do you know, I've just had another idea. Ooh. 1 second. Hold that thought. I just had another idea. In fact, I've just had 2 ideas. Okay. This is too big. I've just remembered I've got a Filofax that I turned into a, like, you know how everybody's doing the whole D-ring your Filofax? Well, back in the day, Kent from Oz did it and put a pocket moleskin in his little pocket Filofax. And I went, oh, that's a cool idea, I'm going to do that. And I did, and I've never used it since. And look at this, it's got card pockets. It's got a pocket in the back, so I can put... Oh, it's even got a pen loop, look. Okay, this could be the answer. Now, I'm fairly sure this doesn't fit directly into there. I had to cut my last one down. Yes, I did. So I have to cut that down to fit into there. But what I did, I believe, was I just cut off enough of it to allow it to slot in there. Because it's the right height, it just is that because of the seams, the thing doesn't fit. I think I'd prefer that, because then it's got a clip on it, which just makes it feel a bit more secure. Okay, that's what we're going to do then. Yeah, he's cute, isn't he? He's so sparkly. I've had it for years, and I keep finding it and going, oh my god, I still haven't sent that to Vicky. Look how beautiful it is. And this is 8 years old at least. When did I get Gypsy? 2011? Yeah, 2011, 2012 I got Gypsy. So that's how old this is. And look, it's not even tarnished. It's gorgeous. I must send it to you. Give me your address. Goddammit. Oh, you're on Viber. Viber me your address. Where's the TN? Well, I decided it was too chunky and bulky. And then I took it out and I just had it momentarily like this. And then I had a moment of inspiration and went, hang on a minute, I've got one of these. Hankey's 11. Wow. That's old for a German Shepherd. He's doing well, and he doesn't have any hip problems or anything. Because he's still running around like a puppy, isn't he? God, I can't believe they're that old. Maddie's 8. Where does the time go? Oh, fur kids don't live long enough. Because Hankey's the same age as Gypsy, if I remember correctly. So Gypsy's 11 years old now as well. Should be about right, because I think she was 5 or... They estimated she was 5 or 6 when I got her, which was back in 2011, 2012. So yeah, she's about the same age as Hankey. Yeah, so plan B is... And I might have to add another elastic to this so I can put one front and back. But I think I'm going to be happy. No, I know I'm going to be happier with this because this even has a coin purse. So what I need to do is see how far that needs to go into there, which is about there. Yeah, I've got a pencil here. Why am I not doing it? Nacho's 15! Little Nacho, he's so cute. Okay, so I'm closing it up, and then I'm going to bend it back so that I can mark it, because when you close it, it pushes it further in. So I'm just going to mark where it needs to be cut to. Where's my ruler gone? So let's mark it there, and there. And it needs to come in about that much and that much. I'm cutting it a little shorter than I need it, because if I don't, I won't be able to put anything else in that pocket, and I'm a pocket shover. Okay, I just am. Pocket shovers are us. And I don't like tatty corners, so I'm just going to corner ways do that. Benefit of a soft cover, you see. I have no intention. Oh, I have no intention of using this in any way, shape, or form without it having some kind of cover. And even if I did, you know, it's not the end of the world. You can always wrap a bit of duct tape around it and you're done. But it's going to live in here, so. Mad scientist! Oh, yeah. Oh, measuring? Pfft, measuring's for dummies, I guesstimate. Just because I use a ruler doesn't mean I'm actually measuring anything. Rulers are for drawing straight lines only. Okay, so that fits in there now. I'm going to put that elastic in the back cover. This will probably get cut off now, to be honest. Oh, I guess I could put it around there. I'm going to put this elastic in the back cover just because I found that this holds it in better. It holds it in place And this is just loose because it's got a pocket all the way through and it's got a hole. So this is not attached in any way, it's just completely loose. And I just pop the ends up in there. So no matter where this sits, it will move with it. So you see it's moved to the side now, or it will move to the front or wherever. It's not attached, which makes it a lot easier to open and close everything. I like that, that's much better. I can even still put this in the back if I want to, although I don't think I do. I don't need that many card slots. I can shove my cards in here because this takes double cards. So all of these can go in here, and then I can put my debit card, my credit card, my ID. So that works fine. This kind of crap I tend to put in there, which is why I wanted a little bit more play in the cover. And then I'll put my coin, my sigil spell in the back there. And when I've got odd coins, I'll put those in as well. I don't really use that. I can use this like that. If this starts getting tatty, what I can do is just washi tape a bit of book plastic, not book plastic, laminate type stuff like that. I can put that on there. See, this is what I meant about the covers. This is why I put elastic along that. Can you see how it's breaking there? Brand new notebook, only was in elastic for a few minutes. That's why I put elastic. I put plastic down here to reinforce it, but it doesn't need it now. This is an old Filofax cover that I've had for forever. I believe it's Kensington. Pocket Kensington, yeah. It's like the original design ones. It's got the Filofax branded fabric inside it. Like a proper, and it's got the gusseted pockets, fully lined gusseted pockets and everything. And then I can put my phone, actually should fit in there without the, I think I'll have to take the cover off to do that, which is fine. I don't normally have the cover on my phone in the house anyway. And if it's inside a leather cover, it doesn't need a pocket, a cover. Ugh! Ugh. Oh, my phone feels so tiny without that cover on. But my phone fits in there perfectly. And I've got a pen. Again, my Parker Jotter fits better in here. Actually, I don't want to stretch that because that's quite a chunky pen. I'll put my Parker Jotter in there rather than that big chunky one. And that's it. I've got all my things that I need. How cool is that? If your Filofax or whatever doesn't have a back pocket, you should, if you've got... Don't cut the phone. You should be able to fit your phone in there as well. If you've got a small phone, don't forget. Because it's an expandable pocket. People forget that it's an expandable pocket. You can put your phone in the back of a Filofax, in the back of a moleskin, if you've got a small phone. Of course, most people don't have small phones these days. Most people's got these massive brick phones. But I don't have a brick phone. I like that. That's, I mean, it's still chunky, but it's chunky because it's got my cards and my phone and my book in it, not because it's super thick leather. Like, this leather is way, way thicker. In fact, the double thickness of that is thinner than the thickness of this leather. Yeah, I've had this for ages. It's one of those. It's actually a proper old style Filofax, where it had a completely replaceable mechanism. It's from like the 80s. It's an original. Not an original as in the name of it is an original. It's a proper, like it's got the plates where the entire mechanism comes out in one piece. There's none of this taking the mechanism apart thing. You just hold the buttons, press it down and slide it out, and the whole mechanism comes out in one piece. So I can pop this back in any time and use it as a Filofax. But I never use it as a Filofax because pocket Filofax paper is too small for me. I don't know what it is about. Well, I suppose those of you who have a personal and have de-ringed it to put B6 in understand. But the personal Filofax paper, I don't know, somehow you've got more real estate with B6, even though it's like half a centimetre bigger. Same with the pocket moleskin. The pocket moleskin is 9 by 14, whereas the Filofax paper is 13 by 8 or 13 by 7.5, which is minuscule, even though it's only a couple of eighths of an inch difference. Weirdness. Anyway, yeah, I think I will probably put like not a dashboard exactly, but like a bit of hard plastic washi taped into here, because I could washi tape it onto this side and have it sitting here, so just to protect the pages, because yeah, rings take up too much space. I like rings, but I don't like 6 rings. I like 2 rings. But I think this will work as a just on the go kind of thing. And I can even attach like onto here. I can attach my Maddie onto there, and I could probably attach that onto there as well. But just, in fact, if I just put it back on the key ring that I had it on originally, it was originally on a key ring. Put it back on the key ring, I can put the whole strap on there, can't I? There's a good idea. Put the whole thing on there, because this didn't come with the case. This was something I added because the case had a hole for a strap, but it came with a really crappy strap. So I put a key ring on it and added this hand strap that's actually for a camera. It's one of those ones that you hook it onto things. So when you're using your camera, you hook it onto, you know, your wrist or whatever, and then when you're using your camera, if you actually accidentally let go of it, you've still got it attached. So I could put that on there like that, nice and simple, and then put these back on there, and then this has got a little wrist strap, which is always handy. I like wrist straps. I don't use them, but I hook my fingers in things because I do have dropsy. So at least if I drop this, I've still got this in my hand. I kind of like that. It's not much bigger than my original phone, my original case. Like I said, I do wish this had a slot on the back, like a slot here or something, because then I could have just put my notebook in the back there and it would have just been on the outside of my wallet. But you know, the next size of wallet up that does that is way too big for me. It's like huge. I never carry anything much bigger than this, but I like this. I think I can live with this. I also like the fact that when I put it in my bag, I can take this off and I can clip this to the inside of my bags, which is really handy when there's a lot of pickpockets about. Cool. So that's my answer to not being able to properly use the digital app. Now, there's nothing wrong with the digital app. Like I said at the beginning, the digital app is really good, but I think better with a pen in my hand, and I don't always want to pack a bag. I don't carry a bag. I'm not a bag kind of girl. I carry a backpack if I'm going out sketching, but I'm not a carry a handbag kind of girl unless I'm going to an appointment or something and I want to look a bit more professional, you know. If I'm just wandering around town, I carry my phone and my stuff in my hand, and that's it. Obviously, if you are a bag carrier, then taking this around with you probably wouldn't be a problem. But this is really heavy. Like, it'll be better once I get a soft skin, because actually I'm feeling this, and it's this soft cover. It's not as soft as you think. It's not as, I mean, it's thin, but it's not. It's flexible, but it's not super kind of flip-floppy. It's not like cardboard. I don't know how to explain it. But even this one at the back, if you wanted a bit better, because of the pocket, it's slightly more reinforced, so you can lean on it. But also, if you wanted it a bit more reinforced, you could always put a bit of plastic inside there, which would reinforce it again. So you've got kind of a writing board. So if you're writing, you've got something to lean on and you're not bending the book. So I think that will work. I think I'm okay with a soft cover now. So I just need to work out if I want the plain grid or the dot grid for my next one. I like plain paper. I just do. I love the dot grid, but I like plain paper. Soft but strong. Yes. It's like an Andrax commercial, isn't it? Soft, strong, and very, very long. Oh. Anyway. Quite surprised my laptop isn't playing up, actually. I thought we were going to have some issues. But it seems to be working fine. It seems to be okay. Put that back in my box. Oh, put that in there as well. Another tip for you. I know it's I don't know. It was obvious to me, but maybe it's not obvious to other people. I've had a few people say, or heard a few people say, when they've been storing their notebooks on the shelf, you know, and you usually put your, well, I don't have my elastic right the way around it, but you have your elastic around it and you put it on the shelf, and as you squeeze it, it kind of gets creased at the back, and people say they don't like that because then the crease fits one notebook, but when you put 3 notebooks in, the crease is really noticeable. I tie my elastic through the hole like this to store it, and then I store them flat like that. Is that weird? Takes up way less room. I just store them flat in a, well, I store mine in a drawer. I suppose if you want them on display because they're pretty, then you might want to put them on a shelf and just deal with the creasing. But if the creasing bothers you, just store them flat like that. You can still put them on the shelf, put them in high size order. You can still see what you've got. You could even put a little tab on this, something like this on there, to say which one it is. So you can find what you want easily. There you go. Random little tip for you from Romany's crazy organisation brain. So let's put these back on here now. I have to swipe this every time I go through the till, you say, and I go there so often. It's just easier to have it on my purse. Because when I'm about to pay, I've got my purse in my hand and I just swipe my card like that. Again, seems obvious to me, but maybe it's a tip for somebody else, you never know. Sometimes what's obvious to you, other people have been thinking about for ages. And you're like, well, it was obvious to me, so you don't think to say it. That's why I say whatever runs through my head that I think about. Yep, this will do. And I also thought that I could potentially use my Hobonichi cover. Of course, this is for an A6, not a pocket. But this also has all the things, and there's no reason why you couldn't put your pocket in there and then use this for other stuff. Or if you use an A6, a Leuchtturm, then these fit. The sheet magnet, will they kill the iPhone? No, they are protected. The cases are protected, and also the two magnets together are strong enough to hold the two together, but one on its own won't hurt your phone and it won't hurt your credit cards. Because normally if you put a magnet near your credit cards, you wipe your credit cards. But that doesn't happen with these. If you are worried about anything like that, you can also put an RFID in the back. But then you won't be able to use your back-to-back phone thing if you've got an Android. Oh. Do you write a lot in your mini bullet journals? I don't know, because this is the first time I've had one. The problem I've had is that up until now, I've had a book before that I carried around as my everyday carry, like this. In fact, this was my original, pretty much my original One Book July was back in this. And I think that was when I swapped to this, when Kent from Oz did his, and I was like, oh, I like that. Because he actually has one of these with two pocket moleskins in. He doesn't. I better take my phone out of there before I'm like, where have I put my phone? I can't find it. He has two pocket moleskins in his, which is really cool. Is the volume too low? I can bump it up a bit. I'm on Ghetto thing here today because I'm streaming from my MacBook. So yeah, it's not professional quality at all. Not today. What was I saying? The sheet magnets don't hurt your phone. Then I was oh yeah, Kent from Oz has two of these in his book, which is really useful, cool. And I don't remember what else I was saying. Can't have been that important. Oh, do I write a lot in them? I've been using the God, my phone feels weird without a case. I've been using the bullet journal app since I started using the proper bullet journal method, as opposed to what I thought the bullet journal method was when I used to do it, and it basically was a lot of to-do lists. I'm a lot happier with the bullet journal method now, but no, it's no good. I got off my case on my phone. But that's okay, because that means it'll stay in here better, because this will stick to that now. So it'll stay. I need to put that in there. So that's my everyday carry. That can go out with my keys. What I plan to do is just use that when I'm out and about. It's not going to be for like shopping lists and stuff like that. It's going to be for when I would normally have ideas. I'm the kind of person that I'm most relaxed when I'm out and about walking, or if I'm in town, I'll see something and think, oh, that's a cool idea, or whatever. You know, that kind of stuff. I have ideas for classes or ideas for YouTube videos or all sorts of things that I come up with. And it's not just a quick 2 seconds on my phone and it's done. I can't type on my phone. I've got big chubby gnome fingers, tiny little phone. Does not work for me. I think better with a pen in my hand. So having a notebook with me is better, but this one is too heavy to carry. I explained this at the beginning of the video, but for those of you who missed that part because we had to start again. Yeah. I think this will be better once like I say, once I've got the soft cover. But I'm going to finish this one out before I buy a new one, because I'm 120 pages in, and that's since the 24th of June. And I don't even have work notes in there. I could easily put my work notes in here and go through one of these in 2 months. If I put all my class notes in, I'd be more than halfway through it. But I have a Hobonichi for that, so that I can keep all my class notes separate. But I might start putting my rough notes in here, because at the moment I do my rough notes on a bit of paper and then I transfer the final thing to the Hobonichi. I might start putting my rough notes in here, so that I've got them in 2 places and they're easy to refer to, because I do find that I need to go back and refer to a previous class, like what did we do last month, I can't quite remember, and I have to go and get my Hobonichi. Oh, I haven't put this back in now. What is that weird noise? Is it rain? Oh, he's next door watering his plants. I could hear this kind of like tapping, dripping, weird noise. Couldn't work out what it was, because it didn't look like it was raining. It's next door watering his plants. Would you let us know how you get on with it? Of course. My bullet journal videos, because I'm taking Ryder's advice to heart. He says that you have to use it for 2 to 3 months before you really become comfortable with it. And I'm starting to feel comfortable with mine now, and I've been using mine since the 24th of June, so almost 2 months, 7 weeks, something like that. I am really starting to feel at home in this journal now, and I'm starting to do more long form journaling. I'm starting to do more sketching. Oh, actually, I haven't shown you this for a while, have I? Here's another little thing I did. I've got this is actually a Franklin Covey ruler, which is slightly longer, but you can use a Filofax ruler. I don't like the holes in the Filofax ruler, but this is a Franklin Covey, and it's exactly the right size to fit in here and just have a little tab at the bottom. So I've been using this for my today, and I've just got one of these little, Amber sent me loads of murdery type. She just sent me like a crime scene one, and a shotgun, and an assassin, and a crow in a graveyard. She knows me well. I did think about sticking this to here, but I don't think I want to do that. But this is so thin that you can actually just clip it on there like that. And it sticks out just enough that you can find today. I was going to put that on there like that, so that the yellow is there. And then I've got today is easy to find then. And also I've got the ruler, because it's on a magnet. I can just slip it off like that and use it. It's handy to have a ruler. Sorry, I got distracted. Ongoing. I'm planning to do bullet journal videos at least up to Christmas. That doesn't mean I'm only going to do bullet journals from here on in. I'm going to do other stuff. One of the things I've been asked to do is some more of the astrology planning. So what I do with my patrons every month is I go through this, similar to what I did with you guys out of frame. How is it out of frame? It's in the middle of the screen. Maybe that was just now. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't showing you anything, don't worry. With my patrons, I go through this really in depth, and we go through each single thing. What I plan to do is for you guys just do the basics of, you know, here's what we've got coming up, and, you know, like I did for this month. Because I did the basics and then I did a whole other video for Patreon, which was much more in depth, and they really enjoyed that. Oh, the bottom of the ruler. Well, you can't see the ruler anyway. It's clear. But there you go. So it sticks out about 1/2 centimetre. It's just enough that you can stick your thumb on it and turn to your page. It literally, it just pokes out as much as my page flags do. But that's a Franklin Covey ruler. I don't know what the Filofax ones do, but the Filofax ones are A5 length. The A5 ones should fit, because this is A5 slim. Yeah, part of what I'm going to do is some more astrology. Also had some people ask some more about how different signs plan best. It's a little bit of an oxymoron, because the only sign that plans really well is Virgo, and there are signs like Aquarius that just guesstimate. We don't really plan. We make vague predictions as opposed to actually planning things. But I guess if that's something that people would find useful, that's a series I could do on, how different astrological signs plan. I can also do planning with tarot. Now, when I'm talking about this sort of stuff, I don't rule my life according to, oh, the stars say I can't do this today, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, I can't do anything, but better stay in bed. I do have days like that, but generally I don't, because that's not how it works. Astrology and tarot is a map. It's a map of where you could potentially go. All your potentialities are in this map. It's up to you to pick the road and choose what you do. But even though it's astrology based or tarot based, you can still think of it in terms of your strengths and weaknesses. So if you want to substitute your smart ways of thinking or your Myers-Briggs personality, if you've got a very well, you can tell, you're like a scientist. A scientist is going to be fiery and airy, isn't it? It's going to be action and ideas. The caretaker or the judge is a personality. The judgment, the judge, I'm sure it is the judge. That's a very Libra kind of air, and it's not water, because that would be emotional. It's got to be air and maybe a bit of earth, practical. You've got to be fair, you've got to be just, you've got to balance, that kind of thing. So you could substitute it for your Myers-Briggs personalities. You could use smart listing or whatever kind of system you use, and just substitute in what you think is the best or the closest one to what you think. Whatever I say X is. Like Virgos, very analytical, very planner oriented, to the point where they can plan themselves into oblivion and never actually start, because they love the planning so much. And when they've got a really good plan, they'll plan it again just to see if they can do it better. And they can they can actually procrastinate by planning. It's quite a common issue with Virgos, because they just love that whole setup part of it. It's more exciting them to find ways of doing things than to actually do it. But when you think about that kind of planning, you're also thinking about, literally the architect, the Myers-Briggs personality, the architect. You have a foundation, you build from the ground up, you edit as you go. Everything has to be perfect and rationalised and measured and all of that. That's how you like things. You like things the way you like them, and woe betide anybody who tries to do it any different, because that makes you sound like you're nitpicky when you just like things the way you like them. And nobody else's way is ever going to be good enough, because it's not your way. And that's the same as Virgos. Virgos get that kind of, I'm really nitpicky and a perfectionist. Actually, they're just very detail oriented, and they like things the way they like them, and they can't stand things to not fit a pattern. It throws them off. Whereas Aquarians, we don't like patterns. Patterns send us running, because that's boring. Patterns are boring. Okay, anything repetitive, boring. Daily routine, don't have a routine. Even to the point where my daily reflection, morning and evening, I do it at 11 o'clock every morning purely because I have a schedule that says I start work and sit down at my desk at 10 o'clock every morning. I have to, because otherwise I would never get started. So I have to at least sit down with my coffee and start bullet journaling at 10 o'clock. Then I do my reflection around 11. But my evening reflection, I will base it on whatever I'm doing that day. So like, for instance, tonight at midnight, my time, I've got a admin meeting with KK, my admin on my site, because she's Australian. So we have to pick a time that I'm up, but she's up. It's tricky. It's a balancing act. But I'm good in the evening and she's good in the morning. So midnight works fine. But that means that I won't do my reflection tonight until after midnight. So I've changed the time on my phone to be 1 a.m. So my alarm will go off at 1 a.m, which in theory should give me an hour for the meeting. If we haven't finished by then, we should be wrapping up. So it's a double way of wrapping things up and making sure I finish by a certain time. But it's also a way of being able to change it every day. So I change my evening reflection depending on what I'm doing. If I'm finishing work at 4, I'll quite often do my evening reflection at 4 and then just take the evening off. And if I do some more journaling, I might do some more journaling, I might do more sketching, but it won't be something that I need to reflect on or go back over or something like that. It'll just be, you know, jotting things down or doodling or whatever. Another thing that somebody has asked me about is project planning. Now I don't know if I project plan or not. Again, Aquarian, just kind of the idea of planning. We don't really plan. We write down all the potential ideas we have and we pick them at random. But it's not really a plan. It's a constant list of things we mustn't forget to do. But I do kind of have a plan at the moment for my passion projects. So my studio is what I'm doing this month, which, guys, this is the reason we're doing ghetto live streaming today, because my computer is way over there. I can't get to it because I've got to fix my tables and I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver my stuff. But I do have kind of a vague idea of what I want to do and when, so I've broken it down by week, and then I break it down each task by day. I've been doing things like, again, this is all on my website already, so if you don't want to wait for this, go to my website and join the Crafty Workspaces group. It's free. And all of this is in there already. It's just not in video format. So if you want to follow along, you're welcome to. But this is my vision board. And then round about page 73-ish, I've got my first draft. Yeah, I had a plan. I had a floor plan that I did online. I didn't print it out and put it in here because I'd already done it. And it just didn't occur to me. But I might print it out and put it in here. This was the original ideas. And instead of just looking at it top down, I was trying to visualise what it might look like to actually sit in the room and look at that corner. And I was doing it this way, but then I had the idea that instead of splitting my room, I've always split my room that way. So this is my work area. This is basically a corridor between two doors. And this is just a useless bit of wall where I have a lot of bookshelves, because there's a big radiator there and I can't do an awful lot else with it. And I suddenly had this idea, what if I turn the room round that way and I split it that way? That means I can use this bit here, because I can have my work side and my other side. So then I've got, this is my new setup. So I came up with an idea for what I could potentially try, and then I tried to visualise it. So again, that's my window corner, which actually, my window corner, I don't know if I can show you, I might be able to, but my window corner, look, my window corner is starting to look like that. Big green chair, my printer's on the chair instead of my cushions, but window, you know, stuff on the walls, etc. That's all starting to look how I envisioned it. Because I'm a very visual person. I cannot think in terms of spaces. You know, most people, when they're planning a room, they think in terms of how big is something and how much floor space will it take up. I can't think like that. I have to look at it and go, that chair is approximately that big based on that window. How will it look if I put it in front of that window? Will it cover too much of the window? That's how I have to look at it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been visualizing my workspaces. So this, if you think about from where you're, if I was sitting in that chair, that's what I would see. And if I was sitting in that chair and looked over in that corner, that's what I would see. So that's how I was trying to do it. I've got to do the other half of the room. I ground to a halt because I've got to fix my desks. Hopefully Amazon will bring my stuff soon. Ooh! My package is 8 stops away. Awesome. God, I love these Amazon notifications. They're fantastic, and it should come up on the little map as well. Oh, he's only 6 stops away now. Awesome. That means I can get on and do my room this evening, and at least get my desks set up and my computer moved over. And then I redid the floor plan. So this is a digital version of this, but I changed it around. So this is what my plan's going to look like. So this here, that purple chair there, because the colours don't match. You have to have the pro version, and I've only got the free version. That purple chair there is that chair there. And this desk here, with this chair, if you look at it from there, is that. Okay? So I've done it so that this is the 2 doors, and that's the window. This is just a corridor. I don't like anything being in the middle of here, because apart from just being a fire escape, it's also where the dogs do the zoomies. So I don't want anything between those 2 doors that they could potentially run into, knock over, and so on. So I've split the room sideways instead of doing it in 2 parts, which gives me, I've got a big part here and then a tiny little useless part there, or I've got 2 side pieces. So this is the lounge, and this is the work area, and I'm going to put my printer and scanner over here where on a rolling trolley, so I can just wheel it across and plug it in when I need it. I've got my writing desk. This is my writing desk, which is what I'm on now, which closes up, so I have extra room here. These are the 2 desks that I have to fix at the moment. And then this area will be a seating area, but my computer, my Mac is going to be here on I've got like a monitor stand, like an arm clamp, that you can move your thing around anywhere you want. So I can sit over here when I'm off work and do whatever I want to do, you know, do some sketching, whatever, and sit and watch a film or listen to some music or a podcast and so on. But when I'm working, I can just turn my Mac around and work with it. And if I'm using my Mac to do videos, I can turn it round so I can see when it finishes, and I can just use my MacBook to watch something or listen to a film or whatever. Is it on the reminders app on the iPhone that it reminds you when it's close to a certain store? Huh? Is it on the reminders app on the iPhone that reminds you when you're close to a certain store? Oh, yes, both actually. Yes. I use Google Keep because Google Keep is more versatile and you can do lists and stuff in it. And you can also add pictures and things. So like, I've got a photo of the password for my hub, so I don't have to go rooting around to find it. I got my medical card and my insurance and stuff in there. This is much more versatile. Google Keep is much more versatile than the Reminders app. But yes, it is on there. I've actually taken Reminders off because I don't use it. But notes as well. You can add a note and then add... There's a setting that you have to turn it on. I think you have to go into settings and you have to go into the individual app and turn on location-based something or other. Whatever it's called. I don't have an app that will do it, actually. Oh, Google Keep has it. Yeah, there. You have to have location always on, so that it will notify you. You have to do that with reminders, and you can do it with notes as well, I believe. I can't find it offhand. It's up here somewhere. But there it is, reminders. Reminders I don't have it on the phone, but notes I do, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in here there's a location-based reminder. And then all you do is you add I can show you on Google Keep, like for this one, you add a notification, so you can pick a date and time. So if you've got to do something, like Maddie's going to the vet on the 22nd, so I could put a note in here saying pick up whatever at a shop that's close to the vet on the day that I do it. And when I'm over there, it'll actually pop up on my phone. Or you can select a place. And you just do that through maps. You just put in the postcode and it'll come up on maps. I don't think you can do it with the bullet journal app. I wish you could, actually, because that would be useful. That would make it really useful if you could do that. I don't think the bullet journal app has the option to add location to your notes. Notes. Bullet journal app. No, it just has regular notifications from the app itself. It doesn't have location based. But most stuff, this is an iPhone 5S, so most stuff on Android and any iPhone past the 6 has location based stuff. Because I don't even have Apple Pay on this, and Apple Pay is based on location. Does that help? Sorry, I'm never quite sure if I've answered the question, because I always find myself over explaining, because I know somebody, if I explain it for an iPhone, somebody will go, does that work on Android? So I might as well do it all in one go. But then I forget what I've said and I forget what the question was. Anyway, I'm going to cut it there, because any minute now my dogs are going to go crazy when the Amazon man arrives, and then I will be able to sort out my desks and hopefully make some progress on my studio tonight. A quick note, and I haven't told my class about this yet either, so this is for everybody. Originally, I was going to take a holiday for the last week of August, the 25th of August to the 1st of September. But over the last few days, I've realised I am so exhausted, I need to have more time off. I need to have a proper holiday. I haven't had one in 3-4 years now. And even when I do have a proper holiday, I usually do my accounts, which is not a holiday. So what I've decided to do is pre-record some of my couple of Patreon videos so that I can take 2 weeks off. I'm going to have the 18th to the 1st off. So I'm going to be on holiday from this weekend. Now that means you won't get... Maddie, careful, careful. She's caught up in my lead. Oh, how do you manage that, you doofus? Shush! Dogs and children, don't work with them. That means that I won't be doing a live stream for the next 2 weeks on YouTube. I will do a pre-recorded bit. I've held off on my July flip because I figured that would be a nice easy one to film, to pre-schedule for next week. I will then have pretty much most of an August flip ready for you. How can you know in advance when I'm doing a live session? Hit the notification bell or follow me on Instagram. Or I usually pre-schedule it. So I pre-scheduled it this morning to say that it was going to come up. So I don't know why your notifications don't tell you, but I always do a live session at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. 5 p.m. my time. So 2 hours ago was when I started. And that's a set schedule. My pre-recorded videos, I don't have a schedule, but my live streams are always the same. because otherwise they would never happen. But for the next 2 weeks, there won't be a live session. I'll put a pre-recorded video up instead. Or I might redo a previous live session that I think would be relevant to you or useful to you. Or I might put up a Patreon video that's from like last year that will explain some of the astrology stuff I'm doing or something like that. You'll have something, okay, for the next 2 weeks, but I won't be doing lives. I will be back the first week of September. Patreon, again, I'm pre-recording stuff. Saturdays, the group will be available if you want to go on and chat together, share your work. It's a good opportunity to share your journals without me being there, because some people find that a little bit intimidating to share it with the teacher or the class. I don't really class myself as a teacher, but you know, some people are shy about showing their journals, and I understand that. But they're quite happy to share it with the class, with their peers, as it were. So you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to have a time out if you want to. You can just sit in there and work on stuff or catch up on stuff, whatever you want. Or if you want to take 2 weeks off, take 2 weeks off. I'm doing it. I haven't had a holiday in 3 years. I need 2 weeks. I listened to a podcast the other day that said, in order to have a proper holiday, if you're going away, you need to go away for at least 8 days and add your travel to that. So you need 10 days booked. 2 days of travel and 8 days away. If you're staying at home, you need at least 5 days just to relax and stop doing the stuff that you normally do when you're at home. So, I mean, if as my own boss, I can't say, sorry, I'm taking 2 weeks holiday this year. When can I, right? If I had a normal job, I'd be able to do that. So why shouldn't I be able to do it as my own boss? But there will be content for you. So, because, you know, algorithms and stuff. I will probably still post on Instagram as well, because I like Instagram and I spend a lot of time on Instagram. It's my social media. It's the only social media I use now. Yes, we do, Jane. You're on holiday at the moment, aren't you? Aren't you on your first week of 2? I've worked damn hard for the last... Well, I always work damn hard, but I really have put everything into Patreon and my class for the last 8 months. Absolutely everything I have. And I just, you know, you can't keep doing that. And then October, of course, there's the Halloween Chronicles. Because it's not just Patreon and normal classes. I've done the Midsummer Chronicles as well. I've got the Halloween Chronicles coming up. Then we've got the Christmas Chronicles coming up. I very rarely have more than a few days off over Christmas. And I want to get my podcast up and running, finally. I've got writing for it. I've got stuff recorded. I've just got to edit it all and get it up and running and do the technical behind-the-scenes bits, which I don't really understand. I'll probably put it on YouTube and do it that way, to be honest. Because it's, I don't know, it's just it's easier for me to talk to camera than to not talk to camera. Some people find it easier to talk off camera. I don't. I'm the other way around. I need something to focus on. Anyway, Amazon Man will be here any second, so I'm going to try and work out how to stop the stream. I can never work out if I need to end the stream here or on my software first. You slept for 2 days. Yeah, that's what I feel like I need to do. The first 3 days of my holiday, I have nothing planned. I'm going to get food in or order takeout, whichever works. And I'm just going to, I have nothing planned. I plan to sleep. I don't really get burnout, but I feel mentally and physically exhausted, and I can't keep going like that. I have to. I got ill last year because I didn't take a break, yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is about working for yourself that makes you feel guilty for taking time off. I mean, everybody else gets 4 weeks a year. And it's not even like I get paid for my time off, you know? All I get paid for is like, well, if I've pre-recorded videos, obviously patrons pay in advance, so they get pre-recorded videos anyway. But the only other income I've got if I'm not physically here working is any income I earn off YouTube, which is probably enough to buy me a coffee. Thank you, by the way, to the 3 people this week who've bought me a coffee. My coffee money. Keep me in coffee. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So I'm going to stop there. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Like I say, I'm going to be off grid for 2 weeks. I will be around, but not in a working capacity. But if you need anything to do with classes or Patreon or anything like that, KK's information will be on the front page of the website. So just go to RhomanysRealm.org.uk and there will be a way of, you can sign up for free. You have to sign up to be able to do anything, but you can then contact KK, and if there's any problems, she'll deal with it. I trust her completely. She's got complete option to work out whatever she needs to do. She's going to be me for 2 weeks. You just had a holiday and you felt like you had to do something all the time. Well, that's just you, isn't it? That's what you're like, isn't it? I can't wait to just not do anything. Ugh. Bye. Let's hope I can end the stream properly this week. I think I have to stop streaming and then end the stream, but I'm not sure. We'll see.